Good morning, children. You have already started with your first chapter in physics, that is, matter. In this module, you will learn about the definition, composition, and the characteristics of the particles of matter. Now, definition of matter. Matter is defined as anything which occupies space and has mass. We can perceive matter with the help of our senses. Take the example of air or a human being. The body of the human being does occupy some space and it has some mass also. And we are able to perceive the human being. That is, we are able to see a human being, we are able to hear a human being, we are able to even touch a human being. So, matter is anything which occupies some space, has mass, and we are able to sense them. Composition of matter. Now, all forms of matter are composed of many small particles known as Anu, which is again further made into smaller particles, the Parmanu. The Anu is known as the molecules in English, whereas the Parmanu is the atom. Greek thinker Democritus called the Parmanu as atoms. These atoms, they cannot exist freely in nature. They always pair up. That is, they form molecules and then they can exist in nature. John Dalton experimentally found that matter is made up of molecules. That is the Anu. Now, why molecules? Since the atoms cannot exist freely, so they pair up either with the own atom or with the atom of some other substance and form molecule. So, a molecule is made up of one or more atoms, maybe of the same kind or maybe of different kinds. See the example over here. Two oxygen atoms make one molecule of oxygen. That is, one atom of oxygen and another atom of oxygen together pair and form one molecule of oxygen. But if you take one molecule of water, you will see that one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms, they are combining together to form one molecule of water. So here in one molecule of water, you will find three atoms, one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms. They are pairing together to form one molecule of water. Let us learn about the characteristics of particles of matter. The particles of matter are very small in size. They have space between them. They are in constant random motion and they always attract each other. Let us discuss the first point. Molecules are small in size. The particles of matter are very small in size, so we cannot see them with our naked eyes. And it is a fact. The atoms or the molecules, whatever matter is made up of, it is not possible to see them with our naked eyes. We need very powerful microscopes to see these small particles. For example, if you put a few drops of color into half a beaker of water, you will see that the whole water becomes colored. That is, the molecules of the color spread throughout the beaker. Now, if you add one more glass of water into this beaker, and you will see that the solution totally remains colored. You cannot see the water separately. The whole water becomes colored. Maybe the color of the water fades a little, but still you will find that it is colored. The tiny molecules of color, they spread out evenly into the whole beaker. Particles of matter have space between them. This is the second point and very important. Now, particles of matter, they have space in between them, be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. We call the space between the molecules of matter as intermolecular space. For example, if you take 100 ml of water in a measuring cylinder Now you know in a measuring cylinder you can measure whatever amount of water you are taking. So if you take 100 ml, you can just see the edge of the water on the 100 ml mark. Now you put 1 spoonful of salt into it and stir it. Do you think that the level of water will rise over here? No, the level of water will not rise. There is a reason for this. The salt dissolves in the water, but the level of water does not rise because the salt particles, they fill in the intermolecular spaces of the water molecules. That is, the intermolecular space which is present in between the water molecules are filled up by the salt particles, that is the molecules of the salt. So there is no increase in the level of water. Particles of matter are at constant random motion. This you have understood. You may have even faced this. When you spray a perfume in one corner of the room, you will get the smell of the perfume throughout your house. Maybe after some time, not at the instant moment, but you can smell it from the other room also. How is it possible? It is because the molecules of the perfume, they spread from one place to the other place. Since the air molecules which are present over there, they are in constant random motion. So because of this random motion of the particles, the molecules of the perfume spread from one room to the other room. Particles of matter attract each other. This is the fourth point. Now, the force of attraction between the particles of matter is called as intermolecular force of attraction. Now this point is also very, very important because of this molecular force of attraction, we get solids, liquids and the gases. Maximum force of attraction between the particles are seen in the solids. Liquids have lesser force of attraction between them, whereas the molecules present in gases are very far apart. So the force of attraction between the molecules of the gases are very less. A simple example over here. If you try to move your hand in air, it's very easy. You do not feel any obstruction. Easily you can move your hand in air. But if you try to move your hand in water, you will get some oppose from the water. The water will resist you. It will not allow you to move freely inside it. The reason is that the attractive forces between the particles of water is stronger than the particles in air. So it is easy to move your hand in air rather than to move it in water. Now, attraction between the particles of matter. There are 2 points, force of cohesion and force of adhesion. Force of cohesion. The force of attraction between the particles of same substance is called force of cohesion. That is, the force of attraction between the particles of the same substance. Like you take iron. The force of attraction between the iron particles are very strong. So we call them as the force of cohesion. Force of adhesion. The force of attraction between the particles of two different substances is called the force of adhesion. Now you take the example of water and glass. You take a glass tumbler and put water into it. You will see when you put the water out into another vehicle that some particles of water are still stuck inside the tumbler. This is because of the adhesive force between glass and water. So the water particles, they stick on the glass. So this is force of adhesion. We will continue with this chapter in another module in the next class.